Alright, now it's time for level 5. But I'm still a bit confused. What exactly was going on? I've been seeing a lot of creepy, disgusting, weird things in this game that are surprisingly odd for no ROM hack developers to come up with. There must be something a bit suspicious about this, but I could just be overreacting a bit. So anyways, I moved on to the next level, which was called Suffer. When I first loaded into the board, I at first immediately looked at my new monster to find out that yes, I have once again unlocked King Caesar. But then I looked at the bosses. There was Gorosaurus, another creature that I couldn't really tell what it was, and a next monster who I later recognized it to be Zilla Jr. The first level I played was this abandoned city level. I chose King Caesar for this level to test out my new King Caesar sprite. So, this level had a very disturbing feel to it. I was in this abandoned, broken down, apocalyptic city. There were cars all over. All of the cars looked dirty, and it looked like they've been here for 1,500 years. And in the background, the sky was red, and there were destroyed, burned down buildings all over the place. Eventually, during the level, I encountered these weird bipedal reptilian bird-like monsters. They don't really do that much. All they do is they just fly down and try to attack you by scratching them. And it's very easy to defeat them simply just by punching them or kicking them. Nothing too hard necessarily. Another level I played was this weird, reddish, hellish looking mountain level. I decided to choose Mothra for this level. In this level, I was in this weird mountain-like background. The background was in the form of a mountain. The sky was filled with blackish, grayish looking clouds, and the ground was like molten lava. There weren't that many enemies in this game, especially there were some enemies that I've already encountered throughout this whole entire game. But one of the creatures in this game, in this level that was odd, was this weird humanoid looking creature with tentacles for legs and with a weird human-like looking face, and its sprite looked very realistic, similar to the other creatures that I encountered in level 4. Another level that I played in this game was this weird fire-like level. I decided to choose Godzilla for this level. In this level, I was walking through. I couldn't really tell what I was supposed to be walking through, considering that most of the level looked like it was covered in fire. But what I did know is that I was supposed to be walking through some type of rocky road or something. The background was completely covered in reddish-looking fire. I was also being attacked by these weird, demonic-looking creatures. One of them looked like a reptilian monster with 4 legs and had crab claws, and the other one looked like a bipedal creature without a tail and looked very mammal-like. Eventually, during the level, I yet again encountered another mini-boss. This time, the mini-boss resembled that of a giant humanoid cyclops-like creature with one eye with a pink pupil. The Cyclops fight was pretty tough, if say. It's not as hard as the hell demonic beast that I encountered in level 3, but it's still very hard. The monster attacks very fast with a punch and a kick, and if you move very far away from it, it shoots a pink laser beam from out of its eye. The only way to defeat it is by constantly moving up towards it and punching it and kicking it. It's pretty hard if you ask me. The next level that I played was this weird cloud fire-like level. I decided to choose Rodan for this level. In this level, I was playing as Rodan, flying through a reddish fire cloud-like level. It was kind of similar to the Mothra level that I played in the last level. In this the enemies in this game were this weird red-like face creature, this weird skeleton red bird-like creature, and this weird insect that could float and levitate in the air. But this time there was no mini-boss. The final level that I played was this weird temple-like level. I decided to choose Angus for this level. In this level, I was in this weird, fiery, abandoned, ruined-looking city. It looked like some ancient Olympic city of some sorts. The enemies in this game was this weird, realistic, humanoid-looking chicken monster, this very small reptilian monster with a chicken head with no eyes and no arms, and this weird levitating human-like monster with tentacles for legs and could levitate in the air. Eventually, just like last time, I once again encountered another mini-boss. This time the mini-boss looked much bigger than Angus. It looked like some type of humanoid bird-like figure without any wings, similar to the reptilian bird creatures that I saw in the abandoned city level. This mini-boss probably has to be one of the hardest mini-boss fights I've ever fought before. This creature can fly very, very fast, from one part of the screen to another. It also has the ability to create tornadoes that can easily damage your health, and they're pretty hard to dodge too. You need to be very, very smart in order to fight this boss. Speaking of which, let's move on to the regular boss fights. The first boss that I fought was Gorosaurus. I decided to choose King Caesar for this boss fight. Gorosaurus didn't have any projectile attacks. The only attack that he had was he could kick, claw, and hit you with his tail and bite you with his teeth. Gorosaurus also has the ability to do his infamous kangaroo kick, but however that attack is easily avoided. The next boss that I decided to fight was Dagora, who, if you don't know, is from the sequel to Return of Mothra. The boss fight was pretty short, but it was pretty cool. Dagora didn't have any heat beam ability or anything, but however, whenever Dagora flies, he releases explosive stars that explode whenever it touches Godzilla. However though, the one problem I did have with this boss fight is that Dagora flies pretty fast, and it's pretty hard to catch him. The final attack Dagora has is he can create a large tornado that, if you get caught in it, it will damage almost half of your health. This attack is pretty annoying, and it's pretty hard to dodge this attack. The only way you can dodge it is by spamming the tailspin. The final boss that I decided to fight was Zilla Jr. I chose Godzilla for this boss fight because, it seemed fitting. Zilla Jr.'s attacks were pretty cool, and to be honest, pretty fitting. Zilla Jr. had the ability to run fast, he had the ability to crawl, he could scratch, he could kick, he could tail whip, and he could bite. But the most clever attack that Zilla Jr. had in this game was that Zilla Jr. could fire his infamous green atomic breath directly at Godzilla, and it could damage half of his health. That was a pretty good tactic that this ROM hack decided to include. And yep, just like last time, after when I defeated Zilla Jr., the screen then cut to instant black. The screen then showed the Godzilla then began to appear on the black screen. Alright, here we go again. It's time to get another new monster. But first I'd have to get chased by that demon-faced creature again. I once again started predicting on what was going to happen and on what monster I was going to get. But however, this time, the monster I was getting wasn't what I was expecting. All of a sudden, just like last time, a cage began to form on the screen. And inside the cage was this weird, hairy, humanoid looking creature with bat like wings and with red eyes. At this moment, I was confused. I didn't remember this Godzilla monster from any of the Godzilla movies. Now, I haven't watched all of the Godzilla movies, but I did know a lot of the monsters, and I clearly don't remember this monster being in any of the Godzilla movies. I was confused. Was this a new monster? I had no idea what was going on. So I probably just concluded that the person that made this ROM hack was getting tired of getting in normal Toho Godzilla monsters and decided to create his own fan-made Godzilla monster and add it as a character in this game. That kind of sounded pretty clever. That kind of sounded pretty clever for me. But once again, those domesticated white eyes appeared on the screen.
Are you ready to lose this next round? Because this time you won't beat me.
The chase was once again on, and I kid you not that this time the level had been made much harder this time. Not only were there spikes, but there were also enemies too. Whenever I jump over the spikes, I would be encountered by a flock of giant flying bird-like creatures. Some of them were enemies that I had already encountered throughout the game. This part had been rearranged. I then on knew that this demon creature was definitely not playing around this time, and that he was serious when he said that the level had been made much, much harder this time. Not only did I have to spam the jump button and the running button, then I also had to spam the kick and the punching button as well. And it hurt so much, it was so terribly bad for my fingers. I was almost about ready to just give up and accept defeat. But no, I had to keep trying. I had to keep pushing myself to keep winning. I had to keep going and keep going. It hurt. My fingers were hurting. My fingers were hurting. My fingers were burning up inside. It hurt so bad. But eventually, I was able to once again beat the demonic beast.
Oh, are you serious? You beat me once again? This doesn't make any sense. You know what? I've had enough. Next time I will try harder, and I will try to beat you again.
And just like that, the large blue humanoid-looking creature broke out of the cage. All right, we got a brand new monster. This is going to be so cool.
Yes, I'm free. Thank you so much for freeing me.
Wait, hold on just 1 minute. Did that humanoid beast just talk to me? Or did it just talk to Godzilla? I was pretty confused, but then, with curiosity, I decided to respond. Who are you?
My name is Solomon. We don't have much time. We are in danger.
I was even more confused. Danger? What did this blue humanoid creature mean by danger? I then responded, Danger? What do you mean, danger? What kind of danger are we in right now?
No time to explain. We need to hurry. I will explain everything later.
And just like that, it ended. Okay, this just got interesting. Not only did I unlock a new monster, but it seems I also unlocked a monster that can actually connect and talk with the player. That sounds pretty cool. I actually like that. But still, something doesn't seem off. what that creature is saying, it seems like that I actually really am in danger. And it seemed the creature was actually seemed to be worried about something, but I don't know what it was. But whatever it is that's going on here right now, I guess I will probably find out later on.